Good morning, good morning, good morning. Buenos dias, mi gente yo-yo. Welcome to Daily Discipline number 805, primarily in Row. My name's Rob Hoback. Happy that you're here. Honored and humbled that you keep coming back like for reals. 805, I had an 805 phone number for a few years there. 805 is the area code for northern Los Angeles County, and then up into Ventura County. My assumption, I don't know this for sure, but my assumption is that at some point in her life, Katy Perry had an 805 phone number, 805 area code, because she's from Santa Barbara, right? I lived in Ventura, which was just below that, but yeah, pretty cool. All right, it's a hump day. Hump day. The date is 12/30/2020. It's our last hump day of the year, right? So I see you at Barb. I see you, Booch. We got a little work to do, so let's do it. First things first, still a realist. You know what else I am? You ready? I am synced. I am in sync. And so we've talked about this before, about when you walk up to a situation and a couple things happen, you're like, wow, especially when you think of all the things that had to happen for you to be exactly in that situation and for everything. It's kind of like playing a slot machine, right? And every once in a while, everything lines up. You're like, wow. I mean, I've got lots of stories about this, right? You know, like that dude on the plane that had written me a couple of legal letters, you know, when I was on a plane 12 hours earlier than I had anticipated. The time that I was in Chicago, talking about Mancow all day, and then all of a sudden turn around, there's Mancow in the line next to me. And it happened again yesterday. So here's the backdrop. I've been working on an article for a couple of weeks now. Had a little writer's block, just been going through some stuff, right? And so yesterday morning I started writing, and the premise, how I started the article was with a joke. And the joke was, when I was a kid, we were so poor that if somebody offered us a trip around the world for $1, we couldn't even afford to get out of sight, right? I mean, it's funny, right? And it's a bit of an exaggeration, but that's kind of how I tell stories. Nonetheless, when I was doing this, I kept getting stuck and I was getting frustrated. I'm like, man, I got to get out of the house. And I need a haircut because I haven't had a haircut since I don't know, middle of November. And so, and then I decided to go to a different place for a whole different story. We didn't even get into that. I just I'm going to go to this different place. So I looked up, they had an appointment, set the appointment, tried to get back to work. And so then when I went in there, I sat down and I'm chatting, and this girl, like I'd been there before, but the girl cutting my hair she's like, what do you do for a living? Blah, blah, blah. And so I was trying to explain to her. And she's like, so did you work today? And I'm like, well, I worked a little bit. I was working on this article. And as I'm explaining it to her, I look up on her little station, and she's got like this little plaque up there, like a little crystal thing, and it has this conversation. It says me, meaning her, I'd like to travel. And it's a conversation between her and her bank account. And her bank account says, to where? Like the backyard? And I'm like, oh my God, that's the exact same sentiment that I was just talking about in my article. And I'm like, this is where I'm supposed to be. I'm in sync. These things happen, right? And when they happen, it used to freak me out. And I remember the first couple times I told people, I'm like, these things happen to me often. And when I do, I'm not so sure that it's just luck, that it's just coincidence. I feel like I'm there to hear a message and that I need to be aware of it. And I need to tell other people, like, hey, if you just look around, your answers are all around you, right? And that when you get yourself in sync, it's like the answers are just the answer to the test right there. What should I do next? Like, well, right there. There it is, right? So, like when another example of this would be a year and a half ago. I was on a trip, and I go to this trip, and all of a sudden, boom, there's like a reminder right there in front of me of something that I said was very, very important to me. And I was like, man, when I remember telling Nuke about it and telling another guy, and they both said, they're like, oh, those are God winks. That's God winking at you, telling you're on the right spot or on the right track. So that's our real talk, right? You're on the right track. And I know it doesn't just happen to me, right? I know it. I feel like we all have access to the same information. It's whether we choose to engage and be aware. And when we see something that happens like that, we don't just dismiss it. Like, yeah, it's just coincidence. But like, yeah, I don't think so. You're on the right track, right? Like, you'll know, just like if you're on the wrong track, those same little God winks will show up like, hey, you shouldn't go down that path, right? You shouldn't do that. Don't do that. You're on the right track. Love it, right? Love being in sync. Love it telling you guys about it. Let's do our thank yous. we're done for the day. Number one, God's been good to us in the good times and the bad. All of this stuff, I always put it over in the pile of I don't understand it. Nobody else understands it. That's why they make movies about this stuff, and write books and all this stuff. And it's just speculation of people thinking that. All I know is that God's been good to us in the good times and the bad. Seriously. And the more I embrace that, and the more I embrace the teachings, the better my life is. Seriously. Thankful for Samuel. Samuel sent me a text yesterday in the middle of the day. It says, hey, I want you to check out this movie on Disney Plus called Soul. So my thank yous are to Disney for making the movie. Another amazing movie by them. They just do a great job of these things, of confronting difficult topics. And then, telling it in a story where a child can understand it and start thinking about it. I'm thankful for the movie, talking about living your dream, about finding that thing that just makes you happy and then doing it. Whew. It's just very powerful. Thankful for the NFL, right? We've got this is the final week of the regular season. We've got some intriguing matchups this weekend, right? Like you got the Chicago Bears hosting the Green Bay Packers. They both need to win, right? So that's going to be interesting. You got the Cleveland Browns and the Steelers playing. Like they both need that win. You've got Mason Rudolph's playing for Ben Roethlisberger. Last time he played against the Browns, what's his name? The defensive end, Myles Garrett, did rip off his helmet, and tried to hit him in the face with it. Right, was ready to just kill him. So that'll be interesting. You got there's lots of interesting. I love it when the NFL season comes down and that last week really matters. It's gonna be interesting. Thankful for that. I live here in the 918. Right, the salon that I went to, the name of it is 918 Salon. Right, and I was talking to, I don't remember who I was talking to about how when I first moved down here, I'm like, man, these people, this is like a whole different life. And of course I was like, I don't like it. Like, I don't belong here, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, no, actually I do belong here. This is where I'm supposed to be, right? Because I know that being an everyday part of my children's life is very important to me. And for that to happen, I have to live right here and make the best of it. So I'm thankful for the 918. Thankful for my friends, Dan Stolp and Nuke, who are just great advisors. Who love me for me, who, they're the kind of people that just show up in your inbox for no reason. Like, hey, I love you. Just wanted you to know that. I'm thankful for the winks, right? I'm thankful for the little nuggets. You're going along like, wow, look at that. Right there waiting for me. Thankful for the Quan, right? I don't know why it is I put him on the list today, but I'm thankful for him. And you know what else I'm thankful for today, tomorrow? I'm thankful for it all because that's how it works. Like, for me to be happy, I have to start by being thankful. And remember that 2 + 2 is always 5. With that, we are done for the day. Hands up. Peace out. We're better together. I appreciate you stopping by on a hump day. Hump day. We'll be back tomorrow, New Year's Eve, on a Thank Yous Thursday. We'll see you then. Deuces. #Real Talk. Love you guys. See ya.